I let myself fall on one of the beanbag chairs, cracking open the beer. My eyes fall on the pictures on the wall. Most of them are of Carl himself, though there's a few of Chase and Leo among them. What looks like an old birthday card from Jenna, too. The edges are a bit worn and torn, and it looks like it's been folded up and shut a lot of times.
Oh.
A meaningful birthday card?
That's cute.
I don't even keep my birthday cards the day I get them.
Well, most people just sign them, and then so they're and they're like $7 nowadays. So it's like just fucking throw
that's a nice
away.
poem someone else wrote that I won't read and you probably didn't read.
The only ones that
Cool.
when I give my siblings ones, I write them a whole ass letter, and so at that point, you better fucking keep it. And I will pay $7 to give them a birthday card that's hideous and stupid, like one that's like about being a grandpa or something.
Yes,
just for fun.
I had a Christmas like that, because like back in like college, I tried to commit and like graphic design and like try to like create my own things from scratch and write them from scratch and use images and then print them out and like make like handmade cards instead of like paying for somebody else's words and stuff. But that's just a lot to do, and cards are dumb. Like we're going to Andrew's birthday party in like a day, and I'm just bringing gifts.
Yeah, fuck you, Andrew. No cards for you.
It's like he knows who it's for.
Yeah, and
he knows who it's from.
And if he doesn't,
what do I need to?
Keith could be like, "It's from me." It's right there.
I don't need to pay $8 for a card that doesn't. Fuck that. Those cards are stupid. And similarly, whenever people give me birthday gifts that aren't my parents or something, they also don't get me cards. Cards are stupid.
Yeah, I feel
we
like
understand that at this point.
This generation is going to end cards.
We only get cards to please the elders.
Yes.
At elder celebrations, and we feel stupid doing it. It's annoying. So like I did have a Christmas where I got every single person a card that makes noise. And about half of them were in Spanish, and the other half were for the wrong holidays or the wrong celebrations. It's like it's a boy.
I got my sister the Minions one that sings.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's like, "You're 2, hooray!" And she's like, "I hate this," and I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, I had a Christmas where I got every single person the most annoying cards possible because it's stupid. If it's thought that counts, then who cares about it's good Christmas calligraphy? No, it's like a screaming minion. Here we go, I signed it.
Well, I put more thought into it because I thought about what you'd hate.
Yeah.
So that means I must know you.
Because I hate. Everyone's like, oh, that's your sassy family member. They're the ones that likes funny cards, but like fucking funny cards are awful. Like the fucking like. It's like
like the dad humor ones, like the ones that are like like the one like t-shirt humor, like
the ones that are like trying the ones that are trying to like nag a little bit but also be like funny and ironic. So it's like all that energy of like a t-shirt that declares you sassy. Game, sleep, repeat.
Dude, so I'm sorry we're tangenting so hard again, but my favorite shirt, I bought this shirt. It's the only shirt with words on it that I wear that's one of those types of shirts, because most of my shirts are graphic tees, like from concerts and stuff. But the one shirt I have that I wear all the time, it just says, "My favorite people call me dad." And I think it's so funny because it either means that my favorite people call me dad or that I have no favorite people.
Yeah. Or it's,
I wear it to work all the time.
Yeah.
And people are always like, "I don't get your shirt." And I'm like, it's funny.
There's a great one that says, "Your son calls me daddy too."
That has to be for the purpose of being lewd, right?
Yeah.
I was saying, in what context?
That's 100% that when I'm fucking your son, he calls me daddy.
See, mine was a Father's Day shirt.
It's a power move.
I literally bought mine on Father's Day.
And there's a whole trend where there was a somewhat sincere shirt, a somewhat sincere like trucker cap that said like, "Women want me, fish fear me," and that quickly got morphed into men want me, fish fear me, and then it got put through a lot of fan art, but also like people started actually printing them and so on, and you can find art out there of like Flynn wearing it.
Dude, the best one I ever saw.
Incredible! It's a perfect fit.
There's like one that's like, it's like, "Women fear me, fish," like women fear me.
The fucked up like mistranslation nightmare rant that falls apart. One.
No, it's just something like fish. Like, "Fish want me as I walk alone on this desolate earth." It's like it's some like very long paragraph talking about. But I just know the first part just says, women fear me as instead of fish, but it's like and like fish like hide or like they scurry from my presence as I walk in the shadows on this hideous earth, or like some like long ass edgy paragraph. Much. It's so good.
It's like akin to those like weird like AI generated nightmare shirts. Like, I'm a Sagittarius who loves guns and stuff. And it has like a paragraph of like 7 fonts.
My stepmom, bless her heart, bought my dad one of those in all genuineness. And like it's always like I'm his lady, and if you mess with me, like he's gonna bury you 6 foot under, blah 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 blah. There's always like a part about like don't threaten my family.
I just want to find the most cursed one.
No, but the best one I ever saw online was the I'd rather be listening to Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20.
I don't know what we've made of reality. I don't understand the choices we've made.
I don't know how we ended up here, Keith.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Right above it is a picture of Carl and Chase I'm unfamiliar with. Must have been taken while he was in Pueblo. Carl never talks to me about college. Whenever I ask questions, he always finds a way to dodge them. His parents don't look all that comfortable talking about it either. They'd spin some shit like, Carl's moved on to better things, and that'd be that. My train of thought is interrupted by the heavy ram crashing into the beanbag chair next to me. I narrow my eyes, still looking at the picture.
What's up? You're kind of spacing out.
It's nothing, just haven't seen that one before. I flick my snout in the direction of the picture.
Oh, yeah, that was from last year. Chase emailed it to me a few days ago.
How's he been?
Okay, from what I've heard. Told me he had a bunch of projects lined up that he won't do.
Colorful menus pop up on the screen as Carl works as controller, finally starting one of the dozens upon dozens of games he has. You ever want to go back there?
To Pueblo?
You know, college. He snorts.
Why would I? I failed miserably last time, remember?
Come on, don't talk like that. Only I'm allowed to do that to you every time I speak.
Why shouldn't I? Everyone else does.
He shrugs as he says that, like it's the most normal thing in the world.
My mom even dusted off the old, I'm not mad, just disappointed card when I got home. You know, just for the occasion.
What about your dad?
Same as my mom, really.
He scratches the back of his head, near the base of his horns.
I don't know what they were expecting. I'm not like them, I guess. I just don't have what they have.
So, what? You're just gonna give up? Is that it?
I don't know.
He seems to seriously consider it for a moment. I can't believe what I'm fucking hearing. Almost makes me want to take that controller of his and snap it right in fucking two. Are you serious with this shit? Get a grip, Carl. Come on, you're fucking 20. What are you gonna do? Just stay home and smoke weed all day?
That sounds nice.
Release.
I know.
Release me.
I'm almost 30, and that sounds like a dream.
Poor Stephanie is making time for us while working 40 hours a week and going to college and doing an internship.
Yeah.
And having a social life somehow.
Oh. It's okay.
And you made time for 4th of July 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We watched Akira.
I fell asleep during Akira.
I fell asleep later during Akira.
You didn't finish it?
I finished it, but I was struggling.
The ending's really good.
I realized I saw all the scenes in some way, but over the course of it, I was like, I am not following this. I'm following it in that there's a guy going psychic and becoming a problem and that whole escalation. Like, I get the tension, but there's at least 6 characters I don't understand the purpose of in the story. Like, there's a lot happening at once, and it seems like every single scene is an action scene strung end to end all the way through for 2 hours. And at some point I realized, I don't think I saw the bike scene. like the one that's referenced everywhere. I don't think I saw that shot. I don't know if I blinked or if I used the restroom.
I mean, there's just several scenes where they're riding bikes around. It just adds to the
No, I mean like
setting.
the slide.
Oh no, that does happen.
Like yeah, I'm just saying like I don't think I saw that shot. So I'm like I don't know if I did I pass out for a moment or did I literally just like look away for a second? Did I use the restroom? I don't know. But either way, like I feel like I need to redo just because that was like a high effort movie.
It's a beautiful movie.
And we did that. That was like we started with Cocaine Bear. Then had multiple beers and did the fireworks and then started Akira, and that was a rough context to start Akira in.
Yeah, for reals. I was already tuckered out, but then also like Cocaine Bear was not. That wasn't even a fun bad movie. That was just
it wasn't that good. No, not as good as the source material. Echo. I only now realize I'm raising my voice.
I don't know. All right, leave me alone.
I ain't leaving you alone. Not this time. Carl bites his bottom lip, narrowing his eyes.
Why does it matter so much to you?
Because you're just about the only fucking thing I have, alright? It's the most honest he's ever been. I'm outright shouting now. I'm not letting you waste your entire fucking life just because you're too lazy, too scared to get off your ass and make a difference. Carl furrows his brow, looking at me before putting the controller down. He pushes out his side before getting up and stomping out of the room, not saying a word. The regret sets in slowly, bubbling up in the pit of my stomach. The rest always get on my ass for telling things like they are, but maybe I went a little overboard this time. After guzzling the rest of the beer in one gulp, I pinch the bridge of my snout, and a groan escapes me. I get up and follow after him.
It's the deck again.
I can hear Carl's faint sniffles before I even open the door to the deck, before I even see him. With my fingers touching the sliding door, I hesitate for a second, looking at him through the glass. The sight of him makes my chest burn uncomfortably. He's slumped back in his chair, eyes cast downward. He looks dejected, deflated. Did I cause this?
Yes.
Fuck, man, what have I done? Come on, Flynn. Get your shit together. We only one way to make this right. You sit in his lap. I grit my teeth, sliding the door open. His furry ears twitch, and I see Carl look at me from the corner of his eye, but he doesn't even so much as turn his head. I sit down next to him. I don't know what to fucking say, but what can anyone say in a situation like this? I don't know, you should be good at that by now, Flynn. You keep creating them. Several long minutes pass, and I catch myself twiddling my thumbs as I stare out over the asphalt road in front of Carl's house. Duke's there again.
Well, that'd be really weird. That wouldn't make any sense.
No, it's just the that's just my only point of reference for this deck is fucking Duke pointing at us and like screeching at us like in They Live or something and then somehow disappearing.
And Jenna just getting all fucking huffy, angry and mean.
I remember we used to play there a lot when we were kids. We used to talk about how we'd follow it out of town, walk to Peyton all by ourselves, travel the world. Back when everything was normal. Back when Sydney was still here. The burning sensation in my chest grows more intense. The flash of nostalgia is gone, and I just end up feeling empty. I look at Carl. He looks right back. His eyes are red, his lips pressed together tightly. Hey, man, about what I said back there.
It's okay, man.
His words and the tone of his voice don't at all match his expression. It's disturbing, like I'm talking to a zombie. No, it's not. It's not okay.
You were right, though. About everything.
He smiles. It's a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes.
I did give up. I could have kept going, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to. Wasn't sure if I could. Come to think of it, I wasn't sure about a lot of things. Can't say I didn't try, though.
What happened?
I'm not a business person, man. My parents travel the country to sell ice cream. I couldn't even sell you a pen if I tried.
Always figured you'd major in art or something.
Me too. But my mom shot it down every time I asked. Said there'd be no jobs in the art world. You probably thought I'd end up jobless. Maybe even homeless. So I decided to stick with business for a while. Then things started piling up and I just blinked, man. Nothing made sense anymore. I opened my books and I couldn't even understand the stuff they taught us on the first day.
He buries his face in his hands, inhaling sharply through his nostrils again. Hey, come on. I slip a bit closer, the chair making a horrible sound as it scrapes across the wooden floor, and wrap an arm around Carl's shoulder. Just this once, the ram doesn't complain, instead turning to me and pulling me into a hug. And I let him. His fur is warm against my skin, which is saying something, since it's so fucking hot out it's even bothering me. Tell you what, how about we go fishing next week?
Okay, Dad. Hey, champ, let's go fishing next week. But Dad, I have homework to do. You can do it on the boat.
You can do it later.
Breakfast Club reference.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Carl's eyes widen as he pulls away, mouth opening just a little bit.
You mean at the...
Course not the lake, fatso. I've got the perfect spot in mind. Your game?
This would be kind of morbid. I'd be like, we're gonna go fishing at the lake where Sydney died.
Yeah. Maybe we'd pull him back out.
Yeah, just maybe find some other dead kids down there.
Yeah, surprise. Gotcha Pond Lake.
Maybe a dead Flynn down there. Oops, wrong timeline.
Temporal lake. Carl looks down.
I don't know. I never really fished before.
I slap his back, grinning. That's why I'll be teaching you, dumbass. The ram's mouth closes, his lips curving up in a genuine smile.
Sounds like fun. Just us?
Mm-hmm. Just the two of us.
That's pretty gay, Flynn.
You know it.
Oh, see? Just the two of us. Like what the
Dare to kiss me.
That's what the German Shepherd said to him about their time together. And that's what Carl just said to Flynn about their time together. So they have parallel relationships in different contexts of benefits.
And they both said next week.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a conflict? Are you overplanning?
I don't think it's like... I hope it's not like that. You better not cancel on Carl's fishing trip to go fuck the German Shepherd.
Fuck! I watch helplessly as my character gets worked to the floor, then proceeds to get mauled to death by some demon asshole.
Playing Tekken?
Carl, who's leaning against me, looks up from the handheld game he's playing. He scoffs.
Shit, you're dying even more than I did when I played this game for the first time.
As the screen darkens and the words "Game Over" appear, I clench the controller so hard I can hear the plastic strain in my palms. There's nothing I can fucking do. How can you even play crap like this? Carl drops the handheld in his lap and leans over to snag the controller away from me. He doesn't pull back immediately, even when he's already got it in his hands. He just kind of stays there. When I look at him, he's got this strange smile on his face, like he's planning something. His arm brushes against my chest as he leans back into his beanbag chair, looking at the TV screen again. He's been a bit handsy since we left the deck. At first I thought he was just a bit emotional, but now I feel like he's actually making passes at me. Might be the beer talking. I mean, we both had a few.
Watch and learn.
The game's barely done loading and Carl's already on his way, slicing up the demons that were giving me trouble with nearly zero effort.
Playing like the Ghosts and Goblins or whatever? What do you think they're playing? I was thinking about the one with Arthur and
Dark Souls? Doom?
Well, Dark Souls, I don't know what time this is. Like 2014?
Yeah, Dark Souls was 2011.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I guess it could be a number of games with demons and swords, so I guess there's like anything it could be.
So much time has passed. Dark Souls is 12 years old, which means Skyrim is 12 years old. It's that long. And then I think they said that like the next Elder Scrolls won't be coming out for like at least 4 more years. So it's like it's gonna be 20 years old by the time it comes out. The previous game will be. Mm-hmm. Like I think people have checked in the math, and like by the time that Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, Skyrim will be as old as the original Elder Scrolls was when it came out. It's like the time difference between Elder Scrolls 1 and 5 is going to be the same time difference between Elder Scrolls 5 and 6.
Dude.
Game development cycles are fucking absurd now. We need to go back. It's not worth it. Like
it's not worth the 4 years wait.
It's not. There's nothing. What's being put into these games isn't actually worth the time it takes and the money it takes and the labor it takes to actually pull that off. Like they're still just as they're often like as disposable or more disposable than ever before. Like it's not like they're like making astonishing, cool, impressive, like impactful stuff. Half the stuff is just like a long wait for a thing that we then like forget about immediately. Like the fact that a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn came out and most of us don't remember already.
Yeah, no, and the thing that's funny is like there are games that are made like fairly quickly in relation at least to those games, and with like way less of a budget, that are really impactful and meaningful. It's like you don't necessarily need like the huge glossy thing for it to be impactful. Yeah. You can make a very like Undertale or something. You can make a very simple game, and granted that took a lot of effort and time
for very few people,
for very few person, but very low budget
resources.
Yeah.
But no, it's wild thinking back to like the PlayStation 2 era, where like a lot of the most famous franchises got like 4 games out or more in that one console generation, just for that one series. Like a lot of stuff like Resident Evil and Silent Hill was coming out like almost like every year in some of these cases, while putting out what were the best games in the franchise and so on. And so I'm just like, I look at this stuff and I'm just like, what are we doing? What's the point of this? Like I think about how like, what is it? Tears of the Kingdom, for all its faults and for all of its advances or whatever, like the whole point was to reuse the map of Breath of the Wild in order to save on development and so on. It still took 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
This is like Tears of the Kingdom came out this year, and Breath of the Wild is now 6 years old. It came out in 2017. I'm like, goddamn, that's still like longer. That's as long or longer than most the gaps between the other 3D Zelda games. Like they're not getting fat. That didn't make it come out any faster at all.
They really just need that grass texture to be absolutely perfect. They're gonna spend 6 months on it.
That part's probably the same.
I've been through here so many times. I know this place inside and out. Look.
As the main character leisurely walk off the main path into a cave, where most of the demons are waiting. Once they're dead, he walks all the way over to a dead end to open a treasure chest, which looks like it has a sword in it.
It has some of the best stuff in the side areas.
I don't know if this shit's really for me, Carl.
Are you jealous because I'm better than you at this?
I'm not.
You totally are.
He smirks triumphantly, taking a swig of beer. Whatever. I arch my back and stretch with a yawn. No one is going to be jealous that you're better than them at a game that you've played before, Carl. It's not impressive.
I'm really good at Kirby Air Ride, and that was the one game that my ex-boyfriend couldn't beat me at, and it made him so upset. because he played games all the
It's
time.
like, I'm sure Stephanie can stomp me at the little robot game where you
Chibi
are a little
Robo.
robot in a house.
I'm number
'cause
one
I don't know how
Chibi
to play
Robo.
it.
I only have a very few handful of games that I would say I was really good at. I'm good at being a servant.
Carl returns to his original sitting position. Without even fully realizing what I'm doing, I wrap an arm around him once I'm done stretching, pulling him just a bit closer to me. Smooth. He flails his arms around and loses his balance, spilling some beer on the floor as he falls right onto my lap. Well, I thought he was already in the beanbag. He's heavy, but not heavy enough to make my knees give way.
Whoops.
I try to keep a straight face as I look down at him. He doesn't even attempt to get up, just stays there. Are you up to something?
Oh.
That pose of Carl is so cute when he pulls his own horn.
I don't even mean to pull my own horn, but
Well, he looks like he's trying to twirl his hair, but as a but as a neckbeard with horns on his head.
Oh, just
He averts his eyes.
hey, Flynn, have you ever thought about, us?
Oh, fuck ass.
Are my dreams coming true right now?
You're drunk off your ass.
You're not answering my question.
I shrug. Fine. In what way?
Really, Flynn? You gotta make him spell it out. I don't know. You just seem like you're with someone different every night. And I guess I was wondering.
He's looking a fair bit less confident than he was before. What? You're hoping I'd give you a shot? Well, if you're gonna say it that way, Flynn.
Yeah, dude, Flynn. See, look, okay, Carl's face is exactly how I felt about that. That was tactless, Flynn. That was the wrong way
Look at that
to respond
expression,
to
just
that.
go dead.
Like, oh, fine.
It's like that dead-eyed TJ stare, where you're just like, oh, I think he's got some shit he's going through.
That's like the equivalent of K, period, in a text message, or like, fine, period.
Carl pouts.
It sounds weird when you say it out loud like that.
I didn't know you were
I'm not gay. I mean, I don't think I am. I want to try some stuff out,
Why didn't you ask Chase? He snickers.
After the whole thing with Leo? Nah.
Even Carl knows better than to try to date Chase.
Dude.
That's how awful
He's right.
Chase is. Oh, true. I think Leo would have killed him if he had.
Yes. Besides, I trust you, I mean, you can be a massive douche sometimes, but
Gee, thanks.
if there's any guy I'm going to do this with, I want it to be you.
I raise a brow, only then realizing Carl's resting his back in my lap. You sure about this?
As sure as I'll ever be. You?
I smirk. You're gonna have to do your best to convince me. With a lazy smile stretching his muzzle, Carl reaches up with both hands to undo my shirt. I let him, shrugging it off to let it fall on the floor. I get my hands on his chest. I was expecting him to be a little flabby, but he's firm, sturdy. Carl tilts his head back, closing his eyes, and puffs out a short breath.
Hold on.
He grabs my shoulder and pulls himself up in my lap, bringing us eye to eye again. I absent-mindedly rub his back.
How do we start?
Let me handle things for now, alright? You just relax. Pressing my muzzle into his neck, I breathe in his scent. Carl smells of weed, like he always does. There's an underlying scent that's always a little musky. I like it.
And then he drools because that's not.
Yeah, because he smelled weed. That's what everyone does. It's normal, and everyone has that reaction.
It smells musky and good.
Right, everybody?
Yeah, is it right? Someone out there, please.
I'm really amused by this game consistently has sex music. Benefits. I part my muzzle, my teeth grazing the skin underneath the fur. My tongue follows right after, slipping from his neck to his jaw, right before I take one of his ears in my mouth and give it a nip. Carl's shuddering breaths tell me all I need to hear. I run a hand down his back, caressing it before grabbing a handful of his ass. With the other hand, I lift his shirt up to it. I lift up his shirt to his chest. With a bit of help from him, I manage to get it over his head.
Yeah, you need some help. His horns.
The fur is feeling pretty good against my skin, not gonna lie. Almost feels like a blanket. A big, fuzzy blanket that weighs a shit ton.
It's a weighted blanket that calms you down.
It also pins you down and you can't leave. You're trapped now.
That's fine.
Carl repositions himself so he's straddling me, hovering over me. Tilting him back a little, I lick down his throat. A tiny squeak comes out of Carl, the ram putting a hand on the back of my head to keep me going. Slipping my tongue a bit further down and taking one of his nipples between my teeth. It's worth it just to hear the reaction it gets out of him, to be honest. I'm enjoying this way more than I thought I would. From his chest, I lick a trail back over his throat and chin, stopping at his lips, my snout against his. Carl giggles.
You know what you're doing.
Had a lot of practice. Having fun so far?
Yeah, it's different, but I like it.
I don't think Carl's straight.
I feel like it'd be kind of, I like, to each their own, Charlize their own, everybody. But like, I don't feel like you could go through with this. I feel like you have to be a little gay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You can say you could be bi.
Yeah, no, gay. I think just like Chase, like Carl's bi.
But all the people like there's
because we know he ends up with a girl in Chase's route in the good ending.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are like, I'm so sure I'm straight, and I'm like, I don't think anyone's like 100% straight. Maybe some things you might do. Like, I don't know.
You'll be surprised. We invented straightness. It's not that old. When I say that, I know it sounds weird because people think I'm saying that we invented straight sex, like it was a social construct that men and women have sex with each other.
Well, no, but just the definition of being 100% on one side.
Straightness is a definition we made up in a way that is designed in opposition to queerness, like akin to how like whiteness is a social construct.
Yeah.
Like, especially the way that whiteness is just a weird amalgam of whoever the fuck counts as white at a given time, and it's meant to be as a term that's in exclusion to anyone who's not white. Like, straightness it was just sort of invented at one point when stigma was, like, rose and was created towards queerness, which mostly just wasn't really a concept. It was just, like, people just had sex. And you just could. And so for a lot of history, you have like that a lot like when this is what people jokingly refer to as like, oh wow, and they were good friends about like Achilles and Patroclus and stuff like that, is because like oftentimes people would not be called gay or anything. There's nothing to translate saying that they're gay because like the idea of labeling it was just unnecessary. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, I still feel that. I mean, it is helpful in context to know like, oh, I don't have a shot with this person. Yeah. But in general, like the need to excessively label things is really pointless. Everyone should just be doing what they need to do. And ultimately it's just like sexuality and gender are both just like these spectrums, and ultimately just every individual person is just complex, and you just figure them out by meeting them, and they're worth understanding on a complex level because they're whole ass people. Yeah. And that's all that really matters. Yeah, so like no number of labels are going to accurately depict any individual. It is your interactions with them that define them to you in your brain. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't think Carl is completely straight.
I think being able to do this with your very good friend and getting very into it, you know.
I don't think it was just the Hendrix ghost.
I think that the big dicked girlfriend was kind of a hint that might be a possibility.
I reached down and grabbed the tent that's been steadily growing in his pants, giving a little squeeze, as I brushed my muzzle against Carl's with a grin. Carl's face scrunches up against mine with a grunt. I can tell. He nuzzles his cheek, whispering into his ear. I nuzzle his cheek, whispering into his ear. Let's move this over to the bed, alright? More room to mess around there. He nods and gets up, and I'm right behind him. Before he can even reach the bed, I wrap my arms around him, pulling him right up against me. I give his bulge another squeeze before unbuttoning his pants and yanking them down along with his underwear. Once they're off, I get to work on my own pants. Easier because I'm not hard yet. Naked, I take him by the arm and pull him over to the bed, which I sit down on, grinning up at him before laying back.
No!
Naked Carl. You wanted to experiment, right? Well, get experimenting.
Flynn, go easy on him. He's new.
I mean, he's telling him to take the lead.
I know, but he trusts Flynn, but I don't know if I trust Flynn with Carl because I treasure him. What do I do?
You got something in mind you want to try out?
Well...
Carl clicks his tongue. His eyes fall to my crotch, and then a smile settles on his face.
I think I've got an idea.
I let myself relax, arms above my head, and keeping my legs spread a little so Carl has better access. Soft paws gingerly reach out to feel my chest. I guess he doesn't have... I guess the rest of his paws can be soft. I just think about his nightmare little cloven fingers.
Yeah, keep those away from my dick.
I don't like to think about those. I suck in some air and puff it up, making it look at least somewhat impressive. Carl's still a little shaky. I am too. I mean, sure, I must have done this hundreds of times by now, but with a friend like Carl? Never. What's the Twitter quote? Have sex with your friends, it's hilarious. Well, no turning back now. I moan a little. Let him know he's doing a good job. He lifts up when he hears it.
He lights up. He's so excited.
He lights up when he hears it. Puts more weight into it. He shifts, and his hands move lower. His touch gets firmer, more confident. His hands are on my stomach, instantly finding the soft spots he'd always poke to get a rise out of me, and then exploiting them. That's the spot. Keep going.
Now you're making it weird.
You started it. Carl shakes his head and keeps going, kneading the skin firmly. He knits his brows for a second, then bends over me, tipping his muzzle downward and brushing it against my belly button. His tongue just poking against it is enough to get me to grunt. Then it sinks lower, and he suddenly stops and pulls back, looking confused.
How do I, how do I get it out?
I shoot him an incredulous look.
Do I have to sing to it or something? Carl, that's very funny.
Just pulls out the flute for the snake, like.
Yeah, do 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 do. I feel like your cute little jokes are not gonna make him hard. You're just gonna embarrass him.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Carl gives me a silent nod, then looks down and dives in. His tongue glides over my slit, warm, wet, and smooth. I clench my teeth, grabbing the sheets tightly. When he continues, I reach out and grab him by the horns, slowly grinding against his muzzle. He makes a sound, but he doesn't complain, and keeps on licking. It doesn't take long at all for my tip to show. Carl gives it a quizzical look before dragging his tongue over it, getting me to moan and more of my dick to peek out of my slit. A few of those licks later and it's almost entirely out. Carl doesn't wait until it is to take it into his muzzle, though, and I let him, guiding him along with my hold on his horns. As I slide into his mouth, I catch him looking at me, and I'm able to see the pretty green in his eyes even in the dim light of the TV. The look in his eyes is expectant, questioning. I respond with a smile. Doing great down there. Just don't get too greedy, okay? Don't want you hurting yourself. Oh, big man.
Like, I don't want you choking to death on this massive cock.
Yeah. Carl makes an affirmative sound around me. I chuckle, grabbing his horns tighter. Now that I'm all the way out of my slit, wet noises coming from behind us.
My dog's licking her foot, and so it kind of grossed me out a little for a second. Kiki, it's not the time. Kiki, stop. You don't understand the context, Kiki.
There's this double. Now she's gonna start looking at you, and it's gonna be weirder.
No.
You've summoned her. You
Oh,
fool!
no.
There she comes. Now that I'm all the way out of my slit, I start thrusting into his muzzle slowly. Ugh. Damn. For his first time, Carl ain't doing too bad. I'd expect him to have more trouble with it, but the way it's going now, he might be able to handle all of me. He's bobbing his head on his own now, his eyes closed, tongue putting a lot of work in as he slips. Tongue putting in lots of work as it slips up, down, and around my cock. Shit. This feels good. Great, actually. He might not be experienced, but he's eager for sure. Looking down, I see Carl's enjoying it too. His own dick's twitching every time he goes down, beating at the tip. Seeing it actually gives me an idea, and I pull him off my cock. It's just funny to just the bluntness of it's very funny to read each time. Saliva strings between it and his mouth. Just the sight of it makes my dick twitch.
You know, every once in a while, I'll like be talking about my life to someone, you know, at work or something. I'll just casually mention like, oh yeah, I live with, you know, 3 guys and this and that, and like this one does this one does that, this one does like YouTube professionally, and they always ask something like, oh, like what kind of stuff does he do? And I usually I'm like, oh, he like video game commentary, and you know, it's like, you know, yeah, like I'm on it sometimes, it's fun. I'm never gonna tell them more than that. Because this is not, I think, what they have in like do you?
At the moment, I'm thankful that people's eyes glaze over the moment I even start to describe my job, because it means there's no risk of them even discovering all of the gay erotica that I read.
Well, they'll be like, oh, do you like? They'll ask me, they're like, oh, do you do like voices and stuff? And I'm like, yeah. Like, oh, like in what? And I'm like, just games. Yeah.
you know, like Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yoshi, what the tongue do?
Yes.
Bring pop.
Bring pop.
No.
Something wrong?
Oop.
Oh no! Is something wrong?
His breathing's a bit heavy. Why don't you get up here with me? I get my legs on the bed and lay down on my side, scooching over so Carl can join me. He clambers onto the bed. It creaks underneath our combined weight, and for a second I'm almost scared it's going to collapse, but it holds. I wrap one arm around his broad frame. The other one sinking down and grabbing our cocks. I thrust up into my hand, grinding against his dick. Our snouts press together again. I almost want to kiss him.
I want to do this more often.
We're not even done yet.
You know what? I
squeeze.
Oh my god.
You're getting to do it now. You're getting to make noises.
Oh no.
It's on the internet. It's not yet, but it will be.
Oh gosh.
I squeeze our dicks together, giving them a firm pump. Carl grits his teeth. There was a little bit of Carl, but not really. So, and I voiced there wasn't sex scenes with TJ, and Jenna had like fade to black sex scenes. So you haven't had to like voice them yet. Like
No.
I was Amicus and Marco.
That's fine. That's better.
Where's that courage, Stephanie?
Dude, people are gonna watch this and be like, oh, like this is a sexy scene, and they're just gonna hear my stupid ass voice come in and ruin it. Really, you're like, oh, like do your best top voice, and like my top voice is like, it's like strap on, like get on your knees, peasant. Like it's not like fucking Dommy mommy. It's not like poor Carl. Poor Carl getting his dick pumps. Like I don't know how to voice that.
I give the side of his muzzle a peck and turn around on the bed. Carl's dick is right in front of me now. It's shorter than mine, but also thicker. It fits him. I grinned to myself. When I dreamed I'd be doing this at the end of the day when I woke up.
Okay, there's a lot blocked out here. So much of it's blocked out.
That is some incredible creative censoring, though.
I'm confused.
His tongue's wrapped around it.
Oh, I got it. Okay. That's a good tongue for that.
Look at weird smiley Flynn. It's unnerving, honestly, given every other time we've seen him.
He doesn't usually have that much of eyebrows.
Yeah, this is a different art style, I think. I think Benefits was written really early.
I kind of dig it. I like all the speckles on his face.
Isn't Flynn's hair like more purplish or something in the final game?
Yeah, it's like pink. It's more feathery.
Yeah,
and like
whereas
longer.
I think this matches. I'm trying to remember. I think this is like the Flynn that matches the start screen, who looks different from the sprite.
And then
all the revisions.
He doesn't have like the other one doesn't have the speckles on his face. I don't think.
Maybe. I'm trying to remember. He's been redesigned a lot.
This one's cute.
You're saying would? You would?
Like, I already would have.
Grabbing it by the base, I give the tip a taste. It twitches against my mouth, and I can hear Carl gasp.
Shit. Flynn.
Makes me want to do some experimenting of my own. Poking my tongue out of my muzzle as far as it can go, I coil it around his dick, circling around it multiple times until my snout's pressed right against it. It gets a rise out of Carl, the ram spreading his legs to give me better access. It's accompanied by a little moan as I get a firm grip on him with my tongue and start pumping him.
Wow, I didn't know you could do that.
I raise my head and take him into my muzzle, tongue still wrapped around him. Carl follows my example. And just like that, we're sucking each other off.
What a sentence. Yeah, just like that.
Just like that. Carl's body has become somewhat damp with sweat, adding to the musky scent that hangs around the room. And because Carl's balls are pressed right up against my nostrils, I get a whiff of it every time I inhale. Not the worst scent in the world, I have to admit. I might actually grow to like it.
Dude, gamer boy ball sweat.
Gamer boy ball sweat. I'm not naming it that. I'm not naming the video that.
Are you sure?
People, you gotta be somewhat decent for the public. with the forward presenting elements of the video. I grab Carl's balls, groping and squeezing, pushing them against his body. It earns me a spurt of pee and a pleasant grunt, both of which I take in eagerly. Carl's putting in some serious effort, moving faster, managing to take all of me. I'm impressed. Every time he pulls off to catch his breath, his tongue just keeps going, not stopping until it's gone over every inch of my dick at least once. And once he's done, he just takes it into his mouth again. His tongue grazes a particularly sensitive spot near my slit, and my toes curl. Pleasure spreads through my body like wildfire. I'm not gonna last long. Given how much Carl's leaking right now, I think he's getting close too. I let go of his balls and grab his ass, spreading him open while I bob my head furiously in his crotch. Whenever I feel the need to pull off for air, I coil my tongue around him again. Brushing a fingertip against the ram's hole makes the ram let out a tiny squeak around my cock. Looks like he's sensitive down there. I test it further, sinking my finger into the first knuckle, trying to find his sweet spots. He's as tight as can be, and his moans get louder when I go deeper. I swear he's leaking more pee too. I keep slipping my finger in and out of him like that, adding a second one when he's gotten used to the first. He's throbbing hotly in my mouth, my tongue squeezing him once my fingers go a bit deeper. It gets results. Carl groans, his muzzle tightening around me, and cum floods my mouth. The amount of it catches me by surprise, and I have difficulty swallowing it all. Those giant goat nuts.
Yeah, yes.
Once I have, I can only buck into Carl's muzzle twice, 3 times before I'm done too. I tense up, my toes curl, and my breath halts for a moment before I groan and slide all the way in, finally blowing my load. I just ride it out, slowly thrusting into his muzzle, watching as he drinks it all down. Once we've both caught our breath, I turn around again, pulling Carl into a hug and shooting him a grin. He returns it, looking tired as shit.
He's tuckered out.
You're pretty good at sucking dick. Thanks, Flynn.
No homo. No homo. Thanks. You're not too bad yourself.
We laugh together, Carl's face buried in my chest.
I liked it, though.
Enough to do it again sometime?
Mm-hmm. You want to make this a regular thing?
A regular thing? What, you want me to be your boyfriend? You got two separate people that he's gonna break his rule for and go back for seconds in the same day.
Yeah. How many people are in the area in which you live, Flynn? You might have to go back for seconds sometimes. Okay, you don't have a lot. I don't feel like you don't have that many options.
It's time to settle down with your several boyfriends.
That's fine. No, nothing like that. Just friends with benefits, I guess.
Benefits?
Oh, they said it.
They said it. I like the sound of that.
Me too.
Boop, 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 boop. Light filters through the blinds in Carl's room, easing me awake. My head hurts just a little bit, and my back's a bit stiff, but all things considered, I feel great. For the first time in a while, I feel like I've had a good night's sleep. Rubbing my eyes, I look down at the ram sleeping in my arms. I can't stop a grin from spreading across my face. Without waking him up, I get out of bed, looking back at this sleeping form as I take my phone out of my pocket and my jacket, still on the floor from last night. Ryan's number is an easy one to remember, and the line only beeps 2 times before he picks up. Ryan here. Hey, Ryan. It's Flynn. Just wanted to call and say I won't be able to make it next week.
Oh.
Thanks for playing with his balls.
But then why is he with Ryan in the one we just saw?
Because things didn't work out with Carl. Because Carl's being a little Star Trek nerd.
He should be used to that. He lives with one.
Benefits. What font is that?
I don't fucking know.
It's the first Echo Project game I've played that has a photo for a title screen.
Somebody could play this, mistaking it for non-furry visual novel porn.
There's some hints on the store page. Unless you're just like, oh, I just opened this email attachment. Oh, this weird thing downloaded. I guess I'll launch this like executable on my computer now. That's a safe thing to just
while I'm at work.
Just wing it.
I'm in my cubicle in front of everyone.
Don't worry, I've got my plastic overlay over my keyboard, so my computer's safe. That's what cybersecurity is. All right, we'll see you guys next time. We'll follow up on Flynn at the bar. Just fucking mad dogging us.
Mad dog with his hot dog.
I have to go back to being Chase.
I know, that sucks.
It's easier
Sorry,
on the voice.
Everyone.